Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. As a reminder, please go ahead and mute your line. We have a great program for you, and we encourage you to post your questions in the chat box anytime they come to you. You don't have to wait till the end for the Q&A session. We will ask them of our speaker at the end. Anthony will ask those, and there is a Corona Chamber host one. So if you want to send it as a private message, feel free to do that to him there. If you are joining us on Facebook this morning, welcome. We're so happy to have you. We're not going to be taking questions from the Facebook group today, so make sure you sign up on the regular to join our Zoom meeting and get a chance to have you be interactive with us. If any of you miss a portion of today's program, you have to log off early, or if somebody happens to come on late, this will be available to go back to on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page at any time. Now I'd like to share a few brief announcements with you about some things that we have coming up this great April Innovation Month. This Wednesday, April 14th, we have a weekly meeting called the Corona Chamber Business Briefing. These are held to provide important updates to our chamber members and to the community at large about things that are timely, relevant, and may need action taken immediately. This week, we will welcome the City of Corona Council member, Jim Steiner, who will be discussing skyline development and other things in the downtown area. There's a link displayed on your screen right now, so we encourage you to register early and log on and hear what he has to update us on. Later this week, on Friday, April 16th, we will be having our monthly Good Morning Corona meeting. It's going to be held in person at IHOP outdoors, as well as virtually available on Zoom. We're going to be talking about ADA compliance for your website, which is something that you might not have heard of before, but is critical to businesses. And we're also going to announce the winners of the Fast Pitch competition that we co-hosted with the City of Corona last week. It's going to be a very exciting day. We've actually extended the early bird pricing through today, so if you missed the Friday deadline, don't worry. You can still save on your registration. Breakfast is included. And if you have a colleague or a business associate that you think should get involved, maybe they're not members of the chamber yet, maybe they haven't been to this meeting, we have a special promo code this month just for non-members. It's called Innovation, because again, that's the month that we're celebrating, and that'll give them member pricing. Next month, we're going to jump ahead just a little bit. We are actually hosting our annual Golf Classic. This event is sold out, which is super exciting for golfing, but we have a lot of other opportunities to get involved with non-golfing sponsorships and also with our opportunity drawing. We have some amazing prizes donated by local businesses. Everything from a certificate for a gun from Sportsman's Warehouse, big screen TV, gift cards to local businesses, Glen Ivy Hot Springs Spa, and a foursome of golf from Eagle Glen Golf Club. These prizes are top notch. You can actually, we don't have displayed on the screen right now, but you can get them in packs of 1, 6, or 40. And every portion of all the ticket sales are going to go to charity, and to a charity designated by you, the person who is purchasing the ticket. So we have several nonprofits that have signed on to be part of this promotion, and you can pick from those. And it's a great way for us to be able to give back to the community, give out some great prizes, and have a really wonderful day. If your business should be in need of any sort of PPE equipment, the Chamber has partnered with the County of Riverside to provide free disposable masks for your businesses. These are available in boxes of 50, and they can be picked up anytime that we're open here at the Corona Chamber. And we also have hand sanitizer now. So this is new since our last meeting. We have small bottles that you can put out anywhere, and we also have large gallons that were donated by Corona Regional Medical Center. So if your business is in need of any of these products, it is free to you through this partnership that we've created. And again, those can be picked up here at the Corona Chamber. You can also call us ahead of time if you want to reserve a large quantity. If you happen to have a big business operation, we can get those set aside for you. Next, if you have not gotten your labor law poster yet, these are required to be posted. They have to be updated every single year. It's very critical, and they have to be posted in a place that is conspicuous for all of your employees to be able to see. Many of you may have switched to having some remote workers this year, could be new to your operation. California law does require that they have their own as well. So anybody that's working off-site at home or in a satellite location needs to have their own copy of this labor law poster printed for them. So we have them in stock here at the Chamber. Love to help you get compliant. We have them in both English and Spanish. So contact us for any of your labor law poster needs. If you happen to be on this call today and you're not yet a member of the Chamber, I don't know what you're waiting for. We have a great team here ready to help you in your business. Every business is different. Your needs may be different from the neighboring business has, but we are well-versed in serving our community. So big, small, or anything in between, we just want to help you out. When we have a strong business base here in our city, we have more opportunities for residents. We have better opportunities to attract great workforce here because of the great amenities that are provided with having a strong economic base. So we're on your team, and if you happen to not be a member or you have an associate who's not, please refer them over to us. We'd love to connect them with our membership specialist, Robert. And the last thing before I introduce today's business partner, I would like to share with you that the Corona Chamber has a mobile app. We are looking always at ways to be innovative and interactive across the board. And this is something that we came up with to be able to engage with our members and to give you opportunities for promotions. So on this app, you can post deals that you have for your business, upcoming events that you have, different things that you can help push out there to get just another place for you to get the word out about your business. You don't have to be a member to download this application. So it's really, there's no limit to who could possibly see your promotions and your business news and other things going on. And we'd love to help you push that word out. At this time, I am very excited to introduce our business partner, Jessica Gonzalez with the City of Corona. She is our Economic Development Director, and boy, is she amazing. If you haven't had the chance to meet her yet, I hope you do get that opportunity very soon. She has an extensive background in building collaborative partnerships with city and private organizations, and she's well known throughout the state for her ingenuity and all of her action-oriented achievements. I would love to welcome today to share with you a few words, Jessica Gonzalez.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Stephanie. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. It's always a delight for me to be able to join all of you in this monthly dose of entrepreneurship inspiration as we hear these amazing stories, the journey that our entrepreneurs have taken, and now how they can impart those words of wisdom with you. As Stephanie mentioned, I'm the Economic Development Director here at the City of Corona, and together with amazing partners like the Corona Chamber of Commerce, government resource agencies, our colleges, our high schools, we are hard at work to support more than 12,000 businesses and entrepreneurs that have made Corona home, that continue being here, growing our workforce, and contributing their amazing products and services. So we are hard at work, as I mentioned, to bring a variety of resources and tools. Just last week, we had our Corona Fast Pitch in celebration in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. And we're excited to see the results, who's advancing to those finals. We also celebrated last week the graduation of 31 entrepreneurs that participated in Corona's first all-Spanish Entrepreneurship Academy over the course of 8 weeks. They learned leadership, business skills that now position them to continue on their journey to start that business in Corona. And we are so excited to say that we are having the second cohort start in June. So if you know of someone that would benefit from this entrepreneurship training conducted entirely in Spanish, please have them connect with us, log on to the city website for more details. We also last Thursday, kicked off our English entrepreneurship and leadership training that is taking place over the next 6 weeks, Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Please go onto our website so that you too can participate 5 to 7 p.m. on Thursdays. Also very pleased to share with you a new addition to our business newsletter. Our business newsletter goes out every month to over 14,000 subscribers. And if you saw in the April edition, we started a new feature called Corona Cares, in which we're highlighting our great, amazing entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and businesses in ways they are being heroes in the local community. So if you know of someone or you yourself would like to be highlighted, please contact me so that we can feature you in Corona Cares. And next month on May, you'll start seeing a business spotlight. We're featuring a new business that joined our community. So please feel free to send that information, or if you are new to our community, we want to help you get exposure here and connect you with the patrons, connect you with fellow businesses in town. Last, I want to just remind everyone that there is still time. We still have funding available for personal protective equipment business grants, $5,000 grants to help our Corona businesses with the purchase of personal protective equipment. I will put the URL in the chat, coronaca.gov/CDBG, but please take advantage of this opportunity. We are here to support you, to uplift you, together with our Corona Chamber of Commerce and partners, be able to support you in your long-term success. Thank you to everyone, and thank you, Stephanie.
Wow, that is incredible. Okay, 12,000 businesses in the city of Corona and all of these opportunities for new entrepreneurs to come up. I just, like, there's no better time than now to get on board and get working with city and chamber on this stuff. Thank you so much for that great update, Jessica. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce our guest speaker today. Neha Arya founded Futurelink, which is a woman-owned and operated innovative STEM center. She has created an entirely new learning experience by combining her industry experience, expertise, leadership, innovation, and education. She is also involved in several technology ventures, and she's a co-creator of Desktop 365, along with other leading cloud innovations. In 2018, Neha was nominated as a Rising Star by the National Association of Women Business Owners. A natural and warm communicator and collaborator, Neha is a community role model for so many and an inspiration to women, to children, and entrepreneurs all over. And I am proud to introduce you to her today. Please welcome Neha Arya.
Hi everyone, my name is Neha Arya, and first of all, I would like to thank Corona Chamber of Commerce and Bobby Spiegel for giving me opportunity to share my journey with you guys. And one thing I have to tell you that if about 20 years ago, if someone had told me that one day I would become a CEO of my company in the United States, I would have laughed at him. But looking back, it all makes sense. So what happened? Why I was not sure, and how I came across to inspiration. So that is exactly what I'm sharing today. Again, thank you, Stephanie, for an amazing introduction. I'm an educator, technology executive, and women in STEM educate. And why women in STEM? Why STEM? You know, all those questions comes to my mind or your mind. And today I'm gonna share where exactly everything started. So in order to do that, I will have to take you back all the way, to my childhood. So I was born and raised in India in very traditional family, very conservative family. I was raised in a town called Ahmedabad in the western region of India. When I say traditional conservative family, I mean to say that it was the time where girls were not given the opportunities. And in my family, I was not allowed to work. I was not allowed to go out after 8 o'clock. All the privileges are for boys than girls. And even though I finished my college degree, which was, bachelor's in science with the microbiology, that degree was specifically allowed, or I was allowed to do that education because so I can find a good husband. I was not allowed to have a love marriage or find a partner for myself. That kind of a conservative family I came from. So this was the time when internet was not a thing. I did not know anything about United States. I had no idea what it means when somebody says the opportunity in the United States. So I had an arranged marriage. And luckily, I was getting engaged, or I got engaged to US citizen. Now that was the destiny. It was not something I chose at that time. It was, because it was arranged marriage, everything was decided for me. I met my husband just 3 times before I got engaged. And you can imagine being raised in India, in a town, and having no idea about what US is, or no idea about what it means to work in the industry. I was totally ignored, like very innocent. I had no idea what to do, what to think. So never thought anything about it, So when I said 20 years ago, if somebody had told me that I'll be in the US, sharing my journey with you guys, I would have definitely laughed at you guys, at anybody, because that was not something I was raised to believe. I was raised to believe that as a girl, my job is to take care of the house and the family. I was being raised to become a perfect wife. And at the same time, my education was allowed up to the point where I can find a good match for me. So, as luck would have it, I was engaged to the person who was a technology whiz. He was in the technology industry. So, because he requested, my parents allowed me to take some technology classes. And even though, my education was not given importance, I was so inclined to learn something new. I was very creative and always, ahead in education. So in 2000, on the basis of marriage, I came to United States. When I came to United States, but before I came to United States, let me give you some idea about how ignorant I was, because it was not the internet where I can Google what United States looks like. I had no family, no friends, a single relative in the United States, other than my new husband, who I met 3 or 4 times before getting engaged. So the height of my ignorance, I heard that United States is very clean and all the roads are paved and, it's very clean. You won't find like dust anywhere. That's something I heard. And I took it literally, like literally. So when I landed in the United States, the first thing I noticed that the land looks the same as it was in India. I could see the dirt, and it was something really surprising to me at that time, because that was not something I imagined United States. So when I landed, it was like, okay, this looks like a normal land, it's not something that is something weird or any different. Anyways, in order to understand the culture, in order to understand, how everything works over here, in order to be more aligned with my husband, I started college and I joined the Fullerton College to take some classes. I was so good with learning and helping others because I had some background in technology at that time. I was so good that I was offered to become an instructional assistant at Fullerton College. And soon I found myself in the place where my education was not only appreciated, I was helping people. I enjoyed learning with them. I enjoyed sharing my knowledge with them. And the first time I realized that, hey, my knowledge is worth something. I can help people and I get paid for that. How amazing is that? So, that inspired me to do more and more. And one day the dean came to me and said, "You're so good with the students." Because I did not know any, other way, I had to break down everything to understand, right? So that's how I started teaching or helping the students in the computer lab. So I take the subject, break it down to make it very simple and easy. And I started helping students over there. So one day Dean said, "Why don't you try being an instructor?" And me being completely, oblivious, I had no idea that I can be a teacher here. I was surprised and I said, "Can I teach?" I said, and he said, "Of course, why not?" So, but here comes the challenge. He said, "I have a class for you, but you have 2 days to prepare. The class starts on Monday, and this was Friday." And he said, "I want you to submit a syllabus today, what you're gonna teach." And that was my first class as an educator. It was a web design class, CSS, web design, HTML. It was in 2001. After that, moving forward, few years, I worked, I never aspired to be an entrepreneur or, business leader or anything else. I just wanted to be a perfect housewife, but this was an added benefit. So I became the instructor over there. Moving forward in 2008, during the market crash, I got laid off. And it was not because I was not capable, it's because, because of the school system, the senior had to bump me. So I was the junior, so I got bumped. And that's how I got laid off. Okay, since career was not my main goal, I said, okay, fine. But when I was teaching at the CIS, that department was considered as a business CIS department. And the dean once said that if you ever want to do a business classes, you have to have the master's. For CIS, it's considered vocational classes, so you can do, with the bachelor's, but for business classes, I have to go do master's. So I thought, well, I'm not working right now, I had my first daughter at that time. So I decided to go for my MBA. Again, I was very good with the learning and I was very happy that I get a chance to learn something new. So I finished my master's in 2010 and in 2012, we moved to Corona. So when I moved, before we moved to Corona, I started helping my husband in technology business. Again, all my education, all my master, whatever I was doing with the thinking in my mind that I would be able to help my husband in his business. He is an entrepreneur. He is a computer whiz. And, he is also innovator. It's a story himself. It's a, amazing story, amazing journey. So I helped him launch Desktop 365. So what is a Desktop 365? It was a VDA solution, and he has now about 3 patents in it. This is the little server. This is the Desktop 365. It's a VDA solution, and basically what he did is taking the entire stack of servers and putting in a virtual format. And this was in 2010. It was way beyond the cloud. So at that time, he was working on this solution. So I was just helping and became the technology executive in his company because I had to deal with all the backend stuff, dealing with the vendors. And now I found myself in the corporate world. From education, now I'm in the corporate world. In 2012, I moved to Corona. I had my second daughter in 2010. And In 2016, again, I was still helping my husband, being a perfect housewife, as I was, I was raised to believe. So in 2016, my daughter was in first grade, and I decided to volunteer at her school. So when I said a volunteer, again, I was working as a technology, executive in my company, as well as, I thought I have a time, my little daughter. So I decided to help her. When I went to school, one day I found that school has a computer class. And these are like 6-7-year-old kids. They have a computer class, and in the computer class, once they go, it's about a 45-minute, limit for the class. And because of the security reason, the passwords are uppercase, lowercase, and numbers. And these 6-7-year-old kids have no idea how to type. How in the world they can do uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and log in with the computer system. So what I realized that by the time teacher helps this 6-7-year-old, to log in, 45 minutes is almost over. They can do nothing. Being a technology, having a technology background, what I decided that, let me help these kids. This was, the start of what how I started my journey. So in 2016, I went to the teacher. I said, can I help you? Let me help, in the computer lab. I used to do it in the community college. Now let me help you in here because I can be a good help. So teacher said, okay, fine. But then I said, okay, 45 minutes, I can even help them. It's not going to cut out. So why don't I start some kind of after school classes where I can help them at least learn some typing or something. This is the era where being in the technology world, being in the corporate world, I realized that the artificial intelligence is coming and our kids are not ready. So at that time, I went to the principal and I said, can I teach the after school classes? Please allow me. And principal said, it's a wonderful idea. I would love to do it. However, here is the challenge. I cannot allow you to use our computer lab, nor do I allow you to use our, internet. So that was the first setback I got. And she said, well, if you can figure out how to do classes without using our computer lab or our internet, you can do it. Came back, talked to my husband, and this virtual solution came handy. What I did is every week, I started creating 20 computer, LAN network every week in their library. If you look at this, I use this little devices called a thin client. It's called a zero clients. This zero clients allows, a video solution. So I took about 20 monitors, all this video as zero clients, and this little server, and I used to create a computer lab at the library every week. It used to take me 1 hour to set up the entire computer lab to teach 1 hour class. And I started typing. I started typing class. That was my first class at the Temescal Valley Elementary. And how do you encourage 6-7-year-old not to move their hands from the keyboard? So if you look at this picture on the right side, I started using a little candies. I started putting the little candies on their hands. The idea was if you drop these candies 3 times, it's mine. Or, you can have this candy at the end of the class. And this became kind of a game for the kids. Now they got the challenge to keep the candies on their hands so they can keep the hand steady. That's how I always come across to some creative ideas. I love being very creative. And I started teaching this class, and students were excited. They were engaged. They had fun learning this. And after that, I taught coding. I taught, computer basic classes. And I thought, this is something I can do. It's kind of rewarding. So I started researching more ideas about how to encourage kids, how to inspire them. And in 2016, I came across a word called STEM. So what is STEM? When I looked up, online, the definition I got was it's an integrated approach to learning with the science, technology, engineering, and math. And I started thinking, being in the technology industry, I knew that the critical thinking, problem solving skills are so important. So I started thinking and came up with my own understanding. The one thing I could not understand is what is integrated means. What is the integrated science, technology, engineering, and math means? I tried to find the information, I could not find it. So I did my own, understanding. And this is how I came up with. When I think about science, technology, engineering, now I included arts in it. When I said science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, what I meant is when I say science, it's nothing but the understanding of what's around us, how everything works, what's around us, all this little basic idea of what is what. That is a science. Once you take that idea and add the math part to it, which is nothing but the calculation, but I call it the precision. Now you know that, there's something out there, you make it more precision with the math skills. Then you add the arts. Arts is nothing but the creativity. You have to have the creativity in everything you do. Without creativity, nothing works. You can't innovate anything. Technology, when I think of, it's nothing but a tool or resource. It makes our life easy for everything around us. And then when you put together and implement, that is engineering. That is my understanding of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And when you combine the inquiry-based learning and critical thinking and problem-solving skills and collaboration, that's how you can innovate. So that was my approach for innovation. And when I think of the industry always comes through problems. If you think of any company like Google or Microsoft, they are solving some kind of a problem. So why we are not teaching kids to understand the problem, to learn the problem, and how to implement the solution? What was missing being in education, being in a technology industry? What I've noticed, there was a big gap between education and industry. And the gap I realized was nothing but the implementation part. We teach in the schools the concepts, but the industry doesn't come with the concepts. Industry comes with the problems. How do you take the concepts and turn to solution to the problem? That part was missing. And that is where I think the STEM approach came handy. And that's what I thought that, hey, I have a background in science. I have a background in technology. I have a background in business. Why can't I do this? Is perfect for me. I can start teaching the STEM or take the education in different, approach. So that's how I came to start STEM Education Center. And the idea was education doesn't have to be boring. And in order to do that, I wanted a place where kids can have fun, kids can enjoy. And that is the one reason I started my STEM education center in the retail shopping mall, Dos Lagos shopping mall. This is a storefront, and it's a, so when the student comes to Futurelink, they don't feel like they are going to another school. They feel like they are going to some kind of a fun place. We had the virtual reality where we, just a fun for kids, but educational virtual reality. And I started putting together, I take the concept and real world connection. I started putting together tons and tons of activities where I can teach some concept behind the activity. And this is where I started my education center, where I was teaching 7-year-old how to use a microscope, how to use chemistry, what is the atoms, the things that they start in high school. I was teaching them in a elementary level. I felt like elementary is the prime time where we need to expose the kids. So by the time they're in high school, they're ready. They at least know what is what. If we talk about electrical engineering or mechanical engineering, what it means. Because I did not have that background, I was more inclined to give that to, to the next generation, to the youth. So why not high school kid? I thought the high school is too late, and high school kids, they don't have a time. They have AP classes. I had a high school kid at that time when I started this. So I thought that the little kids is the prime time. So if you look at it, we were making the potato batteries, and they're learning about the electricity. We were making with the gumdrops, we were making the genetic, DNA structure. They were doing the chemistry experiment. Here they are learning about the, biology. They are making robo hands, artificial intelligence. They're looking at the computer parts, and they're learning about how computer works. We were doing the coding classes. Even in math, I decided to make it fun so math doesn't get boring. If you look at the kids where they're standing, it's a math coordination system where they're learning, they were the human coordinates. And, I turned it into a game where kids can learn, math coordination, X and Y, using the steps instead of just imagining. So, and then arts, and we use the marshmallow and spaghetti to create the towers, and they were learning about the lateral force and vertical force and all kind of physics and science. And I turned every concept into activity and put together tons and tons of activities. It came the summer camps, and I decided to do more and more summer camps. Being in Dos Lagos, I know that I had the access to the lake. So I used every resource I could find and trying fun activities. If you look at it, I have kids over here. They're doing the entrepreneurship. They were just like a Shark Tank. They were presenting their company. In order to teach the entrepreneur camp, I decided that they are going to make some products. So they created the bath bomb company. With the science, they understood how the chemical reaction works, how to create the bath bombs. And one thing I wanted to teach kids is the connection, how one thing is connected to another thing. One subject is connected to another subject. So if you look at it, bath bomb, the main ingredient in the bath, like Play-Doh, we use the Play-Doh and bath bombs, and one ingredient, it was the salt. And if you think about it, salt gives the electric conductivity. So now I have connected the bath bombs to electricity and the physics. We taught how to make the Play-Dohs. And they created the bath bomb company where they had to come up with their own, cost analysis. They had to do some market research. I told them, go talk to your family and ask them, how much they are willing to pay for the bath bombs and everything. So they created the bath bomb company. They had to come up with the packaging as an engineering activity. And it was so much fun. And then they had to present it that why their bath bomb company is better than others. So there were about 3 or 4 teams, and it was so much fun. I took them in the back of our office, or sorry, the center where, we had the plants, and they were picking the plants, and then we dissect the plants and flower to understand the biology. So we were doing tons of activities here. They are making the roller coaster, and they're understanding the roller coaster engineering. So then I came up with the 6-month program. It's called Junior STEAM Certification Program. That was another innovation. Junior STEAM Certification Program was the most, well-sorted program where kids have to go through 6 months of training. They had to go through the entrepreneurship. They had to go through all the STEM activities and learn about the STEM concepts. And then in the end, they have to come up with some kind of innovation on their own. And this is a little video about them. I don't know if can you hear the sound?
Yes, we can, but very lightly.
What we've been doing in Futurelink has been really fun. What I like to do at Futurelink is I like to learn about facts and new things. What I like about Futurelink is that we learn about cool facts and chemistry. We learn about technology, art, math, science. Basically, we work on a smart house, and it has like a motion sensor on the front, and when anything moves, it turns on a light in the front. And then it has a auto filter that, like, when it catches rain and then it goes through the filter.
Futurelink has been really fun. In the first few months, we did a background company, and it was called F15, which stands for Vision Background Team.
My experience at Futurelink was very good because I learned about a lot of new things, and like my most favorite part about it was how we did a lot of projects and about the engine.
For the last few months, we had a project that we made, a street light, and really did something like that.
So for a street light project, it turns off when there's light, and when it's dark, it turns on.
Our project, which is the vertical garden, is based on an Arduino, and it has a soil sensor. The soil sensor uploads its data to it, and it can, all the coding that we do, it can either see if it's too moist, so it will stop watering it, or if it's too dry, and the pump will immediately start watering it until it has enough water.
I enjoy learning all new stuff about the smart house and getting to work with friends.
Futurelink is a fun program, and we advise you to come on to Futurelink.
So for that, junior certification program, these kids, were recognized at the City Hall and, Chamber of Commerce, everywhere. 3 projects that they work on. One was the automatic streetlight system with Arduino, where the streetlight, they use the sensors to understand if it's a dark or light, and based on that, the lights will turn on or turn off. Another project was automatic plant watering system, where it will, detect the soil sensors to understand if the soil is too wet, then it will stop watering the plant. If it's too moist, then if it's too dry, then it just starts watering the plant. So of these kids are 10 to 12-year-old kids, and they got recognition from city and from chambers for their unique and innovative projects. So that was my kind of a big win at that time. And not only these kids were inspired to go, beyond what the school level is, they were ready to, get exposure and learn about the Arduino and artificial intelligence and whatnot, because I feel like at that time, with the inquiry-based learning, I just opened their mind to think about. There was a time when 7-year-old came to me and asked me that, Ms. Neha, you talked about the atoms, that everything is made of atoms and everything is made of, these little particles called atoms. So what is an atoms made of? And I explained that it's made of a subparticles called protons and neutrons. Then the question came that, so what is a proton and, electrons made of? And I said, okay, it's called a quark. And the thing never stopped there. Kids kept asking, so what is quark made of? And now we are talking about the, totally like physics that is still under research. So these kids were exposed, and that's when I realized that this thing works. I had parents came back to me who had a kid in my program, 7-year-old, and one day she said, I had another kid, he was in 10th grade, and this 7-year-old was teaching and helping the 10th grade kid in the science project, helping about photosynthesis and how I'm making him understand the photosynthesis. So that time I realized that this thing works. However, again, challenge. Nothing goes as planned, right? So it was an uphill battle. Why? Because first of all, this was an innovative idea. This was not a mainstream demand. I had no parents came in and asking that, hey, I want the STEM education for my kid. They came asking, do you have a tutoring? Do you have language arts class? Do you have a math class? The STEM, the word STEM, I think I had a hard time making people understand what this business or what this concept is all about. It was an uphill battle to make people understand unless they come into my center and look at all the things I was doing. It was not the mainstream awareness. People did not know what STEM means at that time. I had to explain every parent what this means and why I had to do this and why it's necessary. And just like any other entrepreneur, I was thinking that this is needed, but this was not the mainstream demand. Now, after 3-4 years, this becomes kind of a more and more popular. This became the way of moving forward. But 3-4 years ago, this was my battle. I had a hard time getting students in my program because for them, if I have a money, why do I spend in something fun activities like that? They were going with the sports, they were going with the dance, they were going with the tutoring. So this was my uphill battle. That was a time where I did not know what to do. How do I run this center or, even pay the rent? So next thing is innovation again. I came up with the one day we decided like, so the demand, the normal, people demand is fun, so why can't I convert the education into fun? And that's when I heard the word escape room. This is the time when I came up with the idea that why can't we turn the STEM education in the fun activity and convert it in the escape room. So I, gathered all my staff. Most of those are girls. And I said, okay, language arts teachers, science teachers, they had all the opportunities. And I said, you guys all are creative, so why don't you come work together? Again, the collaboration is the key. I said, I want language arts teachers to work with the math experts and math expert to work with the technology experts and come up with some kind of a escape room solution that is STEM based, where kids can go and learn something even though they are having fun. So that's when we put together a plan for STEAM escape rooms. Now, this STEM escape room is nothing but where a language arts teacher came up with the entire theme, and the physics teacher came up with some kind of idea behind how to do particular activity. Math teachers came up with some kind of a problem solving or math problems. So, and then chemistry teachers or chemistry experts, we came up with some kind of experiment where they have to do and learn something. So we put together escape room, and my first escape room was the zombie apocalypse. That escape room was so popular. And if you look at this red picture over here, this was the inside of the escape room. The idea, the theme was that, there was an attack, zombie attack in the hospital. And, before dying, one of the doctor had found the cure. And what these people have to do is they had 60 minutes to find that cure. And in order to find the cure, they have to go through the math problems to understand the exact measurements of the cure. And then they had to do the experiment to come up with the cure. And when I also used, at that time, the new idea was the augmented reality. So with the virtual reality, I also put together the augmented reality. So this was the first unique escape room where we used the STEM as well as the augmented reality. And, it was the most fun experience and educational experience, not only for kids. I had the corporate people came for the team building activity. I had families and groups and, kids and, next thing I know, I was doing the birthday parties and corporate events. I decided to convert my second classroom into another escape room. And that was the Witch's Den, where, they had the similar idea. There was a theme, augmented reality, everything, and they had to go through the experiments and they had to make some kind of a potion. And this was so much fun for everyone that I believe that this was more popular than even my STEM classes sometimes. But it was a very educational experience. I had people came to my center and say, why don't you have a franchise? This is something we need everywhere, But I had the people who understood the word STEM had this opinion, but I had a hard time. Again, it was the challenging. So always had to innovate. Anyways, there came another setback. In 2018, November, one day I went to my STEM education center and saw that the entire center was soaked in the water. It was a big lake in the center. And I had to close down the business for almost 3-4 weeks just to clean up and stop all the activities. Being in a small business and being an entrepreneur, you might know that, it's a lot of work to just keep the business running. I was putting almost 14 to, 12 to 14, 16 hours sometimes. There was a time when sometimes I did not get a chance to even cook food for my kids, and they end up eating cereal at night. So this setback was huge. And we did not know if this was the landlord problem, it was my problem, insurance and landlord, there was a back and forth going at that time. Again, setback. What do? One thing I learned throughout my, life or journey, that I had no option to choose anything when I was growing up. So even though it's negative, the positive thing out of it was I was ready for any challenge. When I came to the United States, I had no idea what I am going to do in my life. I never planned anything, but I knew that, well, that's how I grew up. I had to make everything from scratch. I had to build everything from scratch. So back to work. And, I came across to opportunity where at that time, women in STEM, I was helping girls to be in the STEM. When I looked up, it's only 27% of the entire workforce where women is in STEM fields. So my one goal was to inspire girls. The opportunity I never got when I was growing up, I wanted to give that to the girls. I decided to make, the center, which is more focused towards women, entrepreneurship, giving the exposure to girls, mainly to inspire girls to become, STEM major. I hired every talented individual who are girls, but they knew technology, they knew science, they knew engineering, they knew everything. So I came across to the opportunity where UC Davis and Disney was doing a big initiative in STEM, and that was called the Snap the Grab program. And I found the opportunity. I reached out to them with another nonprofit called iFusion Foundation. I was involved with the iFusion Foundation as a STEM ambassador. So we reached out to them and we got the grants where we received all these kits, electronics kit. It's called the Little Bit STEM Educator Kit, STEM Inventor Kits. And I decided to run that program. And while doing that, I came across one more industry, which is the technology industry. And one of the big private company, they were looking some kind of ready-made, kind of a, on-the-job training kind of employment. They did not have a time to train the people. Being in science, technology, engineering, and business major, we knew that I had to start everything from scratch. I had to train every staff because none of the staff came with this mindset that the STEM works, or this mindset that we have to connect the dots and come up with something new. So I always had to reinvent the wheel and, start everything from scratch. So we were always teaching, our staff, like as a staff development, we were teaching them the project management and, technology and everything so that they become good mentors for these kids. So when I came across to this company, we decided to start a program called Industry Exploration Program. What was that program was where I allowed, women or girls to be in the industry, where I was training them how to be, in project managers, data analysis, and kind of a business analysis skills. I was teaching them Microsoft Office, and they have to work for this company. The company gets the ready-made stuff, and I get to train these people. And this program was very successful. Even today, this program is successful. It's called Industry Exploration Program. So that was the new innovation in the company. And there came again in 2020, we are back, and it's called COVID-19. It hit hard on me because every program I was doing was in person, hands-on skill, hands-on activity was the heart of my, business. But COVID-19 hit and I had to close down the center. It was a big moment, but once again, I had option to stop everything, close down the business, or I had to pivot. So I decided to change the course. And what I did is I took the programs that we were doing, all the STEM activities we were doing, and I had to come up with the activity that was doable online. What we used for all the experiments and all that I started putting together a plan where we use the household stuff like a salt and vinegar and a soap or like a basic household stuff to do the activity. And I was still able to teach the same concept. We were doing the Snap the Gap circuit and electronics class online, and I kept going. This was the time when I realized that either I could, stop everything, or I could move forward. And I decided not to give up. And I'm still running all this program. At the same time, just to have a mainstream idea, I also started a unique tutoring program where they had to not only learn just the basic concept, but I put together the plan so I can use 8 different learning styles. Again, the idea was to use more activity-based education. They had to come up, in my tutoring plan, we are teaching them the study habits, organization skills, because organization skill is something that students lack. And because of that, sometimes the student is academically very advanced. However, they fall behind because they are missing their homework, or they forget the homework, or they are not, just like corporate. We are, they are not savvy enough to put together the plan and organize everything and create like a Outlook alerts. So I decided that I'm going to teach 7-year-old how to use the Outlook alert, So we put together the tutoring plan like that. And that's how I kept going. And then during the COVID, what I thought that, hey, I'm teaching an industry exploration program. I'm teaching all these, ideas and all this expertise to my staff for staff development. Why can't I start the career development workshop? Because at that time, everybody was out of job. They were looking for jobs. And so this is my latest innovation. It's not innovation. It's not something that I invented just like a STEM, but this is something I felt like with the kind of a twist with the STEM, I can teach this thing much better. So I decided to start all these career development classes. And now I can offer these classes to, I'm a Microsoft certified, professional to teach all this class. I have a project management certification. So I decided to put together the training, and I can teach these classes to corporate or anybody who wants that. And then during that time, during the COVID, one thing I noticed that every kid had to go on virtual platform. Virtual platform, being in the technology industry, I knew that how the virtual platform works. But one thing I noticed that the kids were lacking. They did not have the computer system at home. So how can they learn? That reminded me my old days when I did not have anything. And when I came to US, I had no idea. So I got together with the iFusion Foundation, which was the nonprofit organization, and we decided to donate about 100 computer systems, to the community. We donated about 30 computer systems to individuals who wanted, this computer. And then about 70 computer systems we donated to the Boys and Girls Club of Metro LA. where kids were going and, they were struggling at that time. So we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Metro LA, and we donated all these computers at that time. That was my way of giving back to community during the hard time. So what lessons I learned? Throughout my journey, as you can see, the setback came, uphill battle, everything. The first thing I learned is things never goes as planned. You cannot be ready for anything. So what you have to do, you have to be flexible enough to innovate. That's the way to move forward. The second thing I learned is to have an open mind for new ideas. There was a time when, we came up with the idea of escape room, or we came up with the idea of, 6-month program with, STEM certification. There was no precedence. Like, I did not know if somebody else is doing that. It was brand new ideas. Was I scared that it would work or not? Of course I was scared. What do? I just had to try. As a growth mindset, I had to try, just like I tried everything in my power to make my marriage work, make my, business work. I had to try. That was the only option I had. So keep open mind for new ideas. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but, if you don't try, you're not going to get anywhere. The third, stay hungry, stay curious. Research was my ultimate, kind of a foundation for everything. I love learning. Learning is my passion. And that's what I want to instill in my kids and my students, that stay hungry, be curious, ask why. Don't just take the things at the face value. Even today, when I go and talk to students, sometimes I see that students are taking everything, even adults are taking everything on face value. Have we ever wondered why sky is blue? Why plants are green? If the plants have a chlorophyll, why they change the colors in the seasons? Well, how the wind happens? What happens in terms of science? What happens? Why we have a wind sometimes? Why we don't? What creates the waves? These are the basic concepts that kids are not asking. They just take it for the face value that sky is blue, plant is green. So that is the one thing I wanted to instill in kids. So stay curious, ask why something is happening, why. And then the fourth one is the setbacks are opportunity accelerator. This is, I'm telling you, being, my husband is an entrepreneur, I've seen his life, and being in the captain's chair, as my husband always said, being in a captain's chair, when you are responsible for everything and every person, setbacks are scary. But at the same time, those are the moments that will push you forward to do something different. So setbacks are opportunity accelerator. And every time I had the setback, I came up with a new idea, new innovation. Passion and grit keeps you going. My passion to help kids, my passion in science, my passion in, technology has kept me going. And unless you have that passion and grit, you will not be able to put in your 12 to 15 hours a day. I'm telling you, it's easy to give up. There are times where I was thinking, why the hell? My idea was never to open the business. Why in the world I am doing this? What I got myself into? All kind of ideas or a thought came in my mind time to time. But what kept me going was my passion and my idea that, teaching is a very rewarding job. If you do a right thing, there will be a time where you can make the difference in somebody's life. So that was something that kept me going. And it takes a team to turn vision into reality. Everything I did, I cannot take the credit for everything. I have to give a credit to all the girls who worked for me and came up with the, amazing ideas. I have to give the credit to my kids who, had the cereals at night when I could not cook for them. I had to give credit to my husband who always supported me and to be innovative and still saying that, hey, I'm with you, you can do it. You need those believers in you. And that was, how I became the entrepreneur. And this is why I'm here today, and Bobby chose me to be a part of the Innovation Month. So I'm grateful for that. And the one thing I have to tell every little girl, every little kid, that you can do it. If I can do it where I did not have any idea what I'm going to do with my life, I had no idea where I'm going to be in my life. If I could do it, you can do it. And that's about it. So, I'm here to help. I'm here willing to collaborate and partner with anybody as long as I can make the difference in somebody's life. So here is my contact information. If I can help anybody in any ways, please let me know.
Wow, thank you, Neha. That was an amazing story. Thank you so much for being here to share with us today. I was on Peppermint Ridge's fundraiser this weekend, and they did this thing where they said, okay, since we're all virtual, you can't really clap, we can do this and shake our hands. So let's all give her a round of applause. Great job. Anthony, do we have any questions for Neha in the chat?
Yes, we have a handful of questions, actually. The first being, let me find this. The first being, how does living in Corona compare to India?
I will have to say that not Corona, I will have to compare it to country, right? Because, growing up in India, it is like totally two sides of the world, right? In India, when I was growing up, again, I had no opportunity, where here I got the opportunity after opportunity where people came to me like Bobby. One day he came and said, here, I'm from the chambers. When I first started my business, he came and said, my name is Bobby, I'm the president, and here's my card. Please come see me. And that was, that was the opportunity. So all the people who supported me throughout my journey, I never got that from India. In India, I was raised to be a perfect housewife, as I said, So when I came to Corona, I find that I think it was my destiny to be here, one. And the second, I found very, very inspiring people who, welcome me, open hearts, and they gave me opportunity. They helped me. I had one parent customer, I would say, parent customer, and she was the one, when I started doing all this, she came and said, you are unique, you are doing the unique stuff, and she nominated me to be a rising star at that time. So I received the opportunity from the people in Corona. And so Corona is definitely, who has given me every opportunity, everything to excel.
Wow, that is great. One other question is, will you be offering summer camps or similar types of programs this coming summer?
So yes, so I with the COVID, I had to close down a lot of programs, but I moved everything online. So kind of some of the program I had to close down, but I would not say I closed down. I hibernated, kind of, just to rise back up. So with everything's opening back up, I am willing to, do all the programs back again. Even though I closed my center, I am open to do activities at the city center or, Corona library, anywhere I can find the opportunity. Even after school program I was doing at the schools, I starting that again. All this program is definitely something in my mind. It's ready to go, and I am working on starting it again.
Thank you, Neha. And with that, you covered the last question about COVID and if you were going to continue that either online or in person. I think you just covered that one. So with that, there are no more questions.
Anybody else have any questions or, any comments, any inspirational word? I'm willing to take anything. Or advice. I'm still learning, and I'm an entrepreneur. I love getting advice and learning from experts.
So Neha, I'm going to jump in real quick, and I was not going to, but I once again, you raised the bar, and you have shown how you've got the right frame of mind, you've got the attitude and the perseverance to succeed. You've given so many people today hope that are on this call, either now live or as they play this back and as we have it on our YouTube channels for you to be able to download later. You will continue to impact so many people's lives. And I know, and I watched when you were doing the classes, all those kids that just excelled, and you're just really shaping the future. I love the name Futurelink because that's exactly what you've accomplished. I just want to say on behalf of the board of directors and the entire membership, thank you and God bless you for being part of our chamber family, as well as for branching out and being innovative. It's no secret of why you are our entrepreneur this month, because the County of Riverside has named April as Innovation Month. You are the perfect person to be sharing this, and you have just inspired so many people. So thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie.
Thank you, Bobby, and I echo your sentiments. Definitely a perfect fit for today. Neha, wow. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us today. We would like you to mark your calendars for our next Coffee with an Entrepreneur on May 10th. We will be featuring Crystal Lopez. She is an insurance broker and a dynamic woman. She has a tremendous background of how she began her career and ended up in this field. She's a great one you're gonna definitely want to tune into. Day after Mother's Day, another great entrepreneurial spirit that will be shared with you, and excellent nuggets and takeaways for the day. So with that, thank you all again for joining us. Thank you to the City of Corona for co-hosting, and we'll see you guys next month.